Salmon Run. What a mode! Seriously, what makes it so good? In today's video, I'm going to talk about what makes Salmon Run amazing and the key issue that's holding it back. By the way, I'm Dash, make sure to subscribe and let's get going. Let's first talk about the salmon in Salmon Run. There are so many. You've got your basic types like your regular salmon, your big salmon, and your small salmon. But then things get a bit more interesting when you start talking about the boss salmon. In Splatoon 3, there are 11 boss salmon, and all of them have a unique way to defeat them. For example, the Maws can either be shot to death, or you can quickly kill it by throwing a bomb in its mouth. Or there's the Slammin' Lid, which you have to bait so it slams down on the ground and you can shoot its weak point. All of these boss salmon and regular salmons add so much to the game because every round feels different because of the different combinations of boss salmon you can come across. And when you get to the higher ranks of Salmon Run, like Executive VIP, you have to master the ability to take down each boss salmon with efficiency, which is a lot of fun because it feels like you've mastered the ability to kill every boss salmon. Although, what about the insanely powerful king salmon, you might ask? Well, we'll talk about them a bit more in the next section. Something that makes Splatoon 3 Salmon Run so amazing are its variety of waves. In Splatoon 3, there are tons of special waves that can occur. Some of my favorites include high tide waves, glowfly waves where the salmon go absolutely crazy, and low tide waves where a whole other section of the stage opens up, where even more special waves can occur. But none of these waves are as cool as the incredibly awesome King Salmonid waves. In these waves, you have to defeat a very powerful salmon. There are 4 options for the King Salmonid waves. You can either defeat Koazuna, Poroboros, or Joe, also known as Megalodontia. All of these King Salmonid fights look super cool and can be pretty challenging, but the best part is how unique they are. For each King Salmonid fight, there's a different weakness. But you might be wondering, Dash, didn't you say there was a 4th King Salmonid? Well, to that, you'd be correct, because in the most recent update for Splatoon 3 Salmon Run, they added the brand new Triumvirate. In the Triumvirate, you will fight 3 King Salmonids at once. This fight requires a good amount of skill and coordination, but is super satisfying when you complete it. And, as a bonus, you get triple fish scales, which can be exchanged for other gear and items. Although, we'll talk more about fish scales later. One of the best parts of Salmon Run is the goal of the mode. In Salmon Run, the goal is to collect as many golden salmon eggs as possible. And can I just say, what a great idea! This goal works so well for a few reasons. First, it adds a bit of pressure to the situation because if you don't collect enough eggs, you lose. Although, if you collect more than enough eggs, you are rewarded with more rewards like money and ability chunks. Overall, this system works so well because it makes you want to play the mode over and over again so you can get better rewards. And it adds pressure to the situation because if you don't reach the quota, you lose. Now let's talk about some of the smaller things that make Splatoon 3's Salmon Run so good. I'll start by talking about the maps in Splatoon 3's Salmon Run. The maps in Salmon Run are great because they work really well with how the mode is meant to be played. For example, on Marooner's Bay there's a spot that's perfect for egg throwing. Also, in Big Run, the maps are just better versions of the multiplayer maps because they have a bunch of ways to get around and have walls you can climb up to escape from the salmon, which is a stark contrast to how the maps are in actual Splatoon 3 multiplayer. Another thing they added with Splatoon 3's Salmon Run is some new mechanics. My favorite new mechanic is the egg throw. The egg throw costs the same amount of ink as your sub-weapon, and you can either get the egg to the basket faster, or you can pass it to your teammates so they can get the egg to the basket. Lastly, I want to talk about the events in Splatoon 3's Salmon Run. Salmon Run right now has 2 main events. Extra Work, where you play 5 waves of Salmon Run and try to get the highest score. And then there's the amazing Big Runs. And can I just say that these are a lot more fun than Splatfest. Anyway, in big runs, you play on multiplayer maps and try to reach a certain goal. For example, for the most recent big run, you had to get 135 eggs and you would get the golden trophy. Also, big runs usually add something really cool like a new king salmonid or Grizzco weapon, which are just a lot of fun. Now I want to talk about the one problem I have with Splatoon 3 Salmon Run, which is the stupid fish scales. Holy moly, who thought it was a good idea to give you like 5 fish scales for being a king salmon when some of the items cost hundreds of fish scales? Seriously, it takes forever to get any items that require fish scales. And don't get me started on the golden fish scales, which are so rare that they may as well be the hardest items in the whole Splatoon series to obtain. However, what could Nintendo do to fix this problem? Well, there are two options. They could increase the amount of fish scales you get, which they've sort of tried doing with the big runs, because in big runs you get double fish scales, and in the big run you get triple fish scales. Although this hasn't really worked too well, and scales are still hard to get, and it still feels like there's not enough. Although another idea, which I think would work a lot better, is that they decrease the price of items, so that way fish scales would be a lot more of a fair exchange and the items would be easier to obtain. The Salmon Run game mode is almost perfect, and in the future I'm not really sure of what Nintendo will do with the mode besides maybe changing the scale system. So I came up with a few smaller ideas that Nintendo could implement in a Splatoon 4 Salmon Run. Okay, so first, please bring back Ruins of Arc Polaris. It's such a good map, and I want it back. Second, maybe add some more boss salmons. Can't have too many of those. And add some new night waves, just to spice up the game mode again and bring people back. Overall, Salmon Run is an amazing mode. And is it perfect? Well, no. But no mode is. And Salmon Run is very, very good. Anyway, check out this video here on screen, and I will see you next time.